All right, and welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Senpai Kouhai podcast, featuring your boy Treven and your other boy Stray. Stray, how are you doing today?
I was afraid you were gonna break there, like, to air
I
her out and
was,
just
God, I was trying to figure out how to ship our names together in case people weren't doing it already.
absolutely, but, you clearly needed to think about it ahead of time on that one.
Yeah, that was on a whim. I'll do better next time. I'll try to mix the consonants a little better so I can. Anyway, how are you doing today? What are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It's this week is my vacation, and I have been pretty busy with some activities throughout the week, and now I'm settling into some fun stuff. But the other stuff that I was doing is I'm currently cataloging and kind of curating my anime and video game and manga collection. So in the background of my room currently, there is stacks of video games everywhere, and there's actually an entire coffee table stacked with my anime. So in an effort to make some room for other things I'm working on, I am basically shrinking down the space certain things take up and curating the content I'm consuming. Like I'm going to put away some of the Blu-rays and DVDs of shows I've watched already that I know I'm not going to sit down and rewatch. Like for instance, Rising of the Shield Hero. I can properly store that away and free up some space on my shelf that has way more DVDs and Blu-rays than I have room for. So now they don't just have to sit like stacked on top of the ones that look nice. So
Yeah.
and then and video games like I have okay, so my current list that I have been cataloging as I go, I have 155 PlayStation 4 games.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
those
So
those are all backlog games.
I think there's maybe 5 games that I have actually completed 100%. Um
Ah,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, so that's I have quite the collection because I was always for a period there in my life I was so busy that I said I'm gonna buy them and I will eventually play them. And unfortunately, that very short period of time, which I thought was going to be a few months, turned into several years. So now I have 150 video games that I need to play, not counting digital titles. This is just the physical stuff. So my thought process was, well, I need to make some more room, and I have plenty of boxes. So I'm going to choose a small stack of games that I will keep to play. And when I am done with one, I will reference the catalog and what box it's in, and then I will replace it. But looking at a wall of games is very like choice paralysis causing. I want to play a game. What do you want to play? Oh crap, that's a whole bookshelf. Like I guess I just
Yeah.
won't.
A little intimidating, yeah, to
Mhm.
decide from there. But I always just do the alphabetical approach. But then I always find myself playing things I don't want to play when I go alphabetically. I always force myself into something I didn't really want to do, or it's a style of game I'm not ready for, or it,
Mhm.
it always puts me in a bad spot.
Yeah, if we were playing alphabetically in my collection, I would be playing Anthem right now.
Mm,
Yeah. Just think about
yeah, you
that a
don't want
little bit.
that. No.
Yeah, so my current choices are actually, I have Atelier Ryza 2 because I enjoyed the first one, so I'm gonna play the second one,
Are
even though
you about to
everybody
jump
else
straight
hated it.
into it? Or is
No, no,
that
no, no, no.
Oh,
No, this is the stack of games to, like, actively put myself into. I'm
okay.
still working my way through Hollow Knight, as I mentioned last time. I'm a lot further than I was last time we talked, so I'm actually
Okay.
towards the end of the game, I think. But I have a good mixture of things there. I got the Rise of 2. I have Horizon Zero Dawn because I wanna actually replay the entire game because I got about halfway through it, and then the DLC before Horizon's sequel comes out.
Yeah.
And then
I
I
think you
have
still have quite a bit of time before that too. I think you have until February or March. And it,
yeah,
it only takes like a month, like 30, 40 hours, I think, to beat it. Um,
yeah.
it's not too long of a game, especially with the DLC too. It didn't add too much to it, just a couple extra side quests.
Nice, nice. And then I have Persona uh Dancing Endless Night Collection, which has Persona 4 uh Dancing All Night, Persona 3 Dancing in the Moonlight, and Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight because I love a good rhythm game, and apparently this is a dancing game, rhythm game with all the personas. in it. So I kind of have a wide variety of genres here to work my way through. So that's good. Um, I also, I'm also enjoying some Game Pass games. Like I got Back for Blood, and I'm learning that game right now.
That's
I
already
don't know.
on Game Pass, or it probably
Yeah,
came out on Game
it
Pass.
came out on Game Pass. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's like Left 4 Dead, but it's got some other systems in it that really kind of tweak the gameplay enough to make it really good, and it looks fantastic. I love the way it looks. So,
Mhm.
it's a really fun game, and especially if you can get some friends in there. My Final Fantasy 14 uh uh
Guild.
FC the guild essentially. Yeah,
Yeah.
they play it, and so I'm hoping to get into one of their games one time when I'm essentially not doing something while they're playing. But in the meantime, I'm still learning it. And then I downloaded Minecraft because I've been curious for years, and it's on Game Pass now. And what was it? My girlfriend once said, "You don't want this game because it will become everything you do." And I said, it can't be that bad. But I got really into building stuff on Dragon Quest Builders too. So maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
No, and with how bad you are with crafting and gathering things, or especially in games, it's
Yeah.
right up your alley. I'm surprised you hadn't played it yet already. That was something me and my brother played while we were kids. We really liked Minecraft, and we oh, what was it? I think I got it when I was solo, and I built the Teen Titans Tower. I think was the last thing I did,
Oh, wow. That's
and it was
cool.
oh yeah, it was awesome. I loved it.
Man, I guess there's a lot to do in the game. There's like, armor and weapons and like things to fight and things to explore and find. So, and like I loved Legos as a kid, so it definitely up my alley. So, but the primary focus has been Hollow Knight because I think I only have about two more areas to go through before I finish the game, and I've gotten pretty good at it. I'm pretty proud of myself
You know where you're
to
at
go
right
through it.
now, by chance?
Let's see. I am in the resting grounds. I'm trying to get over to. I have the a physical edition of Hollow Knight. They gave me
Mhm.
this cool little
Oh, they
map.
gave you a map?
Yeah, it's just a little map poster that's like
Oh,
hand
that's
drawn.
cool.
Yeah, so I'm in the resting grounds. I think I'm trying to make my way to like Kingdom's Edge or the Hive. I've been to all these other areas, so
Oh,
I'm literally right towards the end of the game.
so have you already fought all 3 dreamers?
No, I haven't. That's what I'm trying to do now.
Okay.
I fought one of them. I fought one of them, and I did fine on that. I whooped their ass. Now I'm chasing down the other two dreamers. I think
Yeah.
I only have a little bit more essence to get for the dream nail, and then my assumption is that the next two areas is where you go after that. So
That's
who
it,
knows?
really. Once you do the dreamers in the Kingdom Hedge, I don't know because of how much I grinded and just looked around, but I think I finished the game pretty much at that point. I could just go fight the final boss whenever I was done, but I really don't know when you could just call it quits on the game. I really wasn't sure.
Yeah. I know there's like some fun Easter eggs out there in the game, and there's some like little side questy type things. I encountered this spooky looking like white bug that wants me to carry something somewhere, and I can't get hit. So considering how what's the word? I guess rambunctious I am as a game player sometimes.
Hmm.
I was like, I don't want to take on this challenge. Sometimes I'll try to rush, like especially in a Metroidvania, I'll try to rush to different areas, and I'll get hit by something stupid because I'm just trying to jam through it. But
Yeah.
it, I've jumped on so many spikes because of that. It's unfortunate.
It is what it is.
Well, what about you? What are you doing this week? I'm clearly like neck deep in fucking games and anime organization adventure. What about you?
So I have finally moved into my new apartment. Uh, much thanks to you and some friends of the show. Thank you. So I moved in. I'm set up. I got my Switch and my PC already. And I thought I was gonna boot up Final Fantasy X like I was playing, but I keep looking at it and I do not want to play that game. I just I don't know what it is about Final Fantasy X that just turns me off, but I
Oh
keep finding
man,
myself wanting to go to 12 instead. So I think I'm gonna go to 12.
go to 12.
Um
12 is a much superior game. Like look, I played 10, and I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this, but I preferred 10 too, primarily for gameplay purposes and just how goofy it was.
mhm.
But 10 was just annoying. I like the character, the main. I don't like the main character, and this is the problem. This is the problem in
Yeah.
anything that a lot of other people like, and I end up not liking. Is usually it's because I'm like, I don't like the main character, or I don't like that character too. Yeah, Final Fantasy X had a lot of characters I don't give a shit about, like Waka. Like they didn't endear me to anything. I kind of liked Lulu, but for not character driven reasons.
Oh no, it's
As
character.
much, it's
It's
a character
character built,
design.
character
Yeah.
design.
Yeah.
But no, that I guess that's maybe what it is too. I just don't find myself pulled in because I'm already like an hour or two in, and I have Titus and Riku or Rika, and that's kind of it. And I'm just not intrigued. Like I'm paying
Mhm.
attention this time. I can tell you what's going on, but man, am I just not into it.
Well, and you got to take into account that you did that backed up against another RPG. You know, you've been
Yeah.
kind of killing those RPGs lately, so I think it's just more of a change of pace kind of thing because you're planning to play all the Final Fantasies into next year, right?
Yeah, I got to get them all done by the end of 2022, or else the prophecy of 2012 is going to happen. I've had
Oh
this come to
shit.
me in a dream, so I have to get this done.
Well, I saw the movie version of what's going to happen, so I definitely don't want that to
No,
happen. John
I,
Cusack doesn't need to do that again.
I pretty much become John Cusack. My hairline recedes, and I become John Cusack. And
That's
I have to make sure I beat all these Final Fantasies, or else is what John Cusack told me, or else.
look, as someone with an actual receding hairline, I'm insulted.
No,
Don't
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 you
take
come
offense. Don't take
don't you come
offense.
at me with that beautiful set of locks. That's bullshit.
I can't
I'm
I
so
can't
upset.
help it. I've probably
Like,
only got a couple years.
man, like fucking barber roasting me while I'm getting my hair cut. Like, oh, it's a lot of gray in your hair. Oh yeah, got these receding hairlines. Like, stop talking. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Just cut my hair.
I can't wait to get my grays. I've already got a couple coming in. I'm hoping this all goes gray. It all goes real silver. I'm hoping for like the butler from Overlord. I'm hoping to get that
Oh
aesthetic
yeah,
going on. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see how
I
this
got
turns out.
I got the Reed Richards starting up like right there on the side of my
Oh,
head,
I
right above
see
my ears.
the
Yeah,
mid
it's
gray. The mid gray.
yes, absolutely. Um, it,
Uh, I'm also playing before I get too distracted because it's gonna
yeah,
happen.
absolutely. Yeah.
I'm still going through Fatal Frame, and I think I've already talked about how I normally play games. I normally look up the segments and the chapters there are, so I can
Hmm.
kind of divvy out and figure out where I am and how long it's going to take me to beat these games. And Fatal Frame has 15 chapters. I just hit 5, and I'm like 6, 7 hours in. And I'm surprised. I thought it'd be a lot shorter, but each mission takes me like an hour.
Hmm.
And like things just keep happening in each mission. Like someone dies, and it just takes forever to figure out how they died. And I just keep having to kill more ghosts, which is cool. I like being engaged and everything, but I'm like, man, I thought this was the ending point of the mission, and it's like, oh nope, go find this little girl with the effigy, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess I can do that. But this last episode, I really got spooked, and it really
Oh,
brought me into the
really?
game a little bit more. I got
Ah,
terrified. Like
yeah,
the atmosphere was really good, and I was like, oh fuck, I don't want to do this no
man.
more. And then I
Playing
turned
that
her
game with
around real
headphones
quick.
on.
Yeah.
Uh, Playing that game with headphones on and just like getting immersed in the music, and then like whenever something pops up, like it's not even like a jump scare necessarily. Sometimes it's just like your perspective and it's already been there and you're like, oh fuck, what's happening? Oh, like it's so scary.
That's what I'm worried about. It's been there, and I just didn't notice it the first time, and I'm about to get messed up because there's a lot of like fast things you have to react to catch things within your. They call them drops for some reason, but
Mhm.
every mission's called a drop, and you get scores based off your drop, and you get ranked for it at the end. And if you go back and replay it, you can catch different ghosts that go into your collection. It's different collectathon things you can do for each
Mhm.
mission. So I'm trying to keep an eye out for it, but at the same time, I'm like nervous to keep an eye out for it because there's like killers in these places that the ghost will rush you, and it's like, oh god, I don't know if I want to look all around because I don't want to get spooked.
Yeah, it's kind of that's kind of a mechanic. Like there were points where you just had to run away in some of the previous ones. Like there were ghosts that would kill you, like if you
Hmm.
did not run away. And it's one of those things I had to remember when I played. was it Yomawari? Like the one where a little
Oh,
girl is looking for her sister, and like
yeah,
all the
that
monsters are running
isometric
around
one in
town.
the city. Yeah, that one was
Hmm.
creepy. Yeah, I hated
Yeah.
that one. I didn't finish it, but it was good.
Yeah, I love a good horror game. I know we're past Halloween, but they're like getting the chance to play Fatal Frame on the Switch is probably one of the best experiences. Um, and yeah, so is that all you've been playing? Have you watched
Yeah,
anything?
I am watching something. Actually, are you juggling a lot of things, or because we can
No,
interject?
no. I'm actually not. I haven't gotten to the part of my week where I watch anime. So
Oh,
yeah.
well, Well, I'll go ahead and carry this on for a bit because I've canceled an anime. I gave it
Oh
the big
shit.
hashtag cancel, and then I started a different one. So I was watching Ghost Stories. I don't think we talked about this last week on the show. I talked to you about it separately. Um, but it was super funny at first. I uh I was watching it, really enjoying it. There was this Christian girl that was on it that was just way too much. Way too much
Yeah.
commentary about her beliefs. And it was really funny, but it got to a point where there were these two boys that, like, one of them kind of pervs on the main girl, he likes her and stuff, and the other guy is kind of like the sensible dork that doesn't really do much. But the main guy pervs like on the girl, and he knows the colors of her panties, and he made a line, and he was like, oh yeah, these kids are like undersexed or something. And I was like, that's weird. And then the other guy was like, well, we are in elementary. And I was like, oh my God,
Mm.
no, I don't. Ah. And so I was talking to my brother about it later because I was like, yeah, it has some pretty funny lines. And I was talking to him about that. And I was like, you know what? I don't think I can watch this. I think I'm going to have to stop this. I don't know if I can get past that just in
uh,
case, because it was rough. Or it threw me off to a point where I was like, that was my limit. I think I have to pass.
Man, ghost stories. That's kind of a one-off from the industry that it always surprises me that it happened. For those that don't know, Ghost Stories was like it's this like really basic and kind of lame, kids figuring out supernatural stuff kind of show. And apparently when they licensed it, they also got permission to just record the dub however they wanted. So they made up the lines, and there's a lot of like uh really kind of like sexual innuendo jokes and topical jokes. So once it's old enough, no one will understand the references. But it's like they let the voice actors just get in the booth and be drunk and you know just basically ad lib the entire like you know dialogue of the show, and it's funny that when it hits. But
Yeah,
I also feel like it's not something you can binge. It's not like because that the charm of it is something like coming back to it after a little while and being like, oh, that's right, this place is insane. Like this whole show is insane, and the writing and voicing is completely made up, and it's one of those like fun like drinking with your friends or some goofy thing you show somebody. But it's definitely one of those shows that it tried to be so tongue in cheek. Sometimes it was like, ugh, I'm annoyed with you. I'm gonna turn you off. Like it was really hit or miss for me. But when, like I said, when it hits, it hits. So
yeah.
I
Because
don't blame you for dropping it.
I really liked the funny lines I'd heard so far. I think I was like 2 or 3 episodes in, and really just laughing at it. But I I don't know. I do have certain breaking points, and I think
Mhm.
just hearing that, I was like, I don't know. Just in case anything else comes up like that, I can't do this in good conscience. I gotta go. I gotta dip out. But
So Trey definitely not into lolly content.
no, no, oh no, no, not
Yeah.
me. Just in case. But the next thing was I started a show called what was it? Let's Make a Mug 2. And it's super cute, super wholesome. This girl moves to her mother's hometown. Her mom like passed away when she was like 4, and she's in high school now. And they
Hmm.
go back to her hometown. Her dad opens up a cafe where there's a bunch of her mom's homemade mugs. Her mom used to be a potter. And so she comes to this high school, and everyone knows about her mom's legacy. Apparently, she was like a renowned potter, and she just joins the pottery club, and it teaches you all about pottery, and it's just super cute, wholesome stuff. But in they're short episodes, they're like 14 minutes.
Oh,
But the
nice.
other 9 minutes is in a separate episode in between where it's the voice actresses going around doing things, like going around and seeing the inspiration, doing pottery, just doing cute things. And I was like,
Really?
wow, this is really cool, really wholesome stuff. I would love to see more voice actors doing things. Like, if you were to get the cast of, I don't know, Shield Hero to go do something, like, that'd be cool. Or anything ridiculous. I'd see the voice actors go do that if they were
Yeah.
tight like that.
Yeah, there. Japan has a few. There's a few examples in my head, but they do stuff with the voice actors and like kind of try to make those voice actors known. And so they usually, if it's like a topical kind of thing, they'll have little shorts sometimes where the voice actors learn how to do whatever the subject matter of the show is. Like you're talking about. But I think my favorite example of this is have you ever heard of Game Center CX?
I don't think so.
Okay, so Game Center CX was this Japanese show. I think it's still going. It's been going for a long time. And it had this host, this guy named Arino. He's like a comedian, but he's like a nerdy comedian. And they basically frame him as this, member of a company, and he's tasked with playing certain games within 24 hours. Like I think, or like a certain time frame. And so he has to sit in this room and play things like Solomon's Key or, like a Macross, a shooting game. And, he has to complete certain challenges. And so they would do that, and he'd have like snacks, or he'd like look up stuff, like he'd get permission to look up in a guide if he gets really stuck. And
Hmm.
he's a comedian, so he's making jokes throughout the whole thing and making commentary, and it's really a lot of fun to watch. And they actually brought it over here in some form a while back, but all they did was the challenges. But the one I watched was like fan subbed, and they had the little scenes in between where he would travel and he would go see arcades, or things like that. I think in one episode he actually goes to a like arcade machine distribution company, and so he's walking around in this warehouse with all these arcade machines, and he's just like asking about it, like how they do it, and then he starts asking like how much they are. And I think they actually asked, like they had the F-Zero AX, like the arcade version of F-Zero, but it was like the one where you sit in it and it moves when you
Oh yeah.
turn. Yeah, and they were telling him the price of that back then. But I think he also like traveled to other prefectures. Like I think he went to Hokkaido in one episode, and it showed him like exploring Hokkaido, finding these little like kind of dinky arcades and playing games in them, or like doing crane games. It was a lot of fun, and I thought that was a really cool part of it. And I was really sad that they didn't bring it over whenever they kind of imported some of the show back in the day. uh, but I like when they do that, especially in anime or shows in general. I kind of like that personal touch.
Yeah. That's crazy. I wonder why they wouldn't have if it was like licensing or something. Because I started getting into what is it? So my son, he's at the age where he's watching a bunch of movies back to back. He's recently watched the DreamWorks movie Home with the
Ah,
guy from Big
Big
Bang
Bang
Theory.
Theory. Yeah.
Yeah, and Rihanna and Steve Martin, and we've watched it so many times. I can almost quote the movie with voices.
Wow.
It's pretty good. I like it. It's a good little movie. I'm not upset with him that he watches it. It's better than something else.
Yeah.
Um, but I got to the point where I was curious about the movie, so I watched like behind the scenes type stuff just to see what they did, and seeing them voice act it was pretty cool. So I was like, well, I wonder what all they have for this, or like if this is like in Blu-ray box sets, or and other things. I think that'd be pretty neat to see.
Yeah, it would. Oh, by the way, did you know they have a show based on that?
Yes, it's an animated show,
Yeah, it's
right?
on Netflix, I think. Yeah.
Or I mean, of course it's animated, but like it's 2D animated, not 3D
Yeah.
animated.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's definitely lower labor level,
of course.
so but that makes sense. At least it's not Peppa Pig. Um,
Yeah, not yet. He's watching Paw Patrol, but we haven't gone back to anime yet. I haven't found a musical one for him for us
yeah,
to
because he
watch. We
likes the
gotta
musical one, right?
yeah, like Beck, Mongolian Chop Squad. He really liked that. Um, what else? I feel like we watched another one that was pretty musical. I don't think it was Zombieland Saga, but we do have to watch the second season, so he'll probably watch that with me,
Yeah, did
and he'll
it
like
was it
it.
K on? I know you were watching K on at one point.
Mm, I hope not. I hope not, because I don't want to watch K on season 2 yet.
Oh
or the movie.
man,
I'm not ready for that.
did you
That's
get through
too
season
much.
one?
Yeah, I got through season 1. It was nice, but it was too wholesome. Or it's not that it was too wholesome, and I'm not sure if we've covered this already, but I can't deal with shows that don't have a point. Or like I
Mm,
like a goal and they want to work towards it. Like if they would have like episode 2 or 3, hey, we have a battle of the bands to work towards, and like by episode 26, it's battle of the band time. They did a couple local neighborhood shows. They showed a couple songs, and now we have to do battle
mhm.
of the bands instead of 26 episodes of friendship and how we do it. I uh I have to be ready for that and mentally prepared. Like right now, I'm doing this pottery show, or let's make pottery 2, or let's make a mug 2 is what it's called.
Mhm. Yeah.
I'm in the mood for a friendship show. I need something wholesome right now, so I wanted to watch this. I'm cool with friendship and friends and making pottery, and like I'm just watching this on my lunch break, and it's wholesome stuff. But I wasn't in the mood for it when I was watching K on. Like, okay, maybe these girls will do something this time. Another beach episode? Again, I'm not mad at a beach episode, but what are we doing here? What's going on?
Yeah, it did go on for quite a while, and that was kind of what was popular back in the day, like
Yeah.
during the time it was coming out. So, it's really kind of interesting for me to go back sometimes to older shows. Like sometimes there's some older shows that slap now. Like it's like, man, how did I never see this? And sometimes you go back and you're like, this is hot garbage. Why did I ever watch this? And it's just a taste change, and the genre has been around a long time now. It's been much more available, and so more crap gets through than I would care to admit. So
You know what kills me about that is the Kami Got Kill. I feel like that's one that just didn't really do it for me. I it's just I don't know, just weird harem trash that just got real pop, like a harem that somehow broke through into the mainstream in a weird
oh yeah.
way, and I just couldn't deal with it.
I feel like I want to go try to give a Kame Got Kill another go. I remember watching it and just being kind of distracted and not really like super attached to anything on it. Also, people died so frequently, and
Yeah, no point in
so
getting attached.
right, exactly, and that's the thing. Is like I get what like character death. That's important. It really is. Like it adds some stakes to a show, some emotional heft. But not if they die so fast you can't actually develop the character and make a connection, so it matters.
Yeah,
That's kind of my thing. I mean, I credit it for being kind of like edgy at the time, and it was a big one. It was on Adult Swim, I think, and so it kind of took off because it was on TV at the time,
yeah.
and now I think they showed anime earlier, so more people got to see it because now they show their anime at like the middle of the night. Like I think it's from like 11 p.m. to like 3 a.m. or some shit like that.
If even then now, I don't. They
Yeah,
have so many of their own broadcasts that I don't even know if they show anime anymore.
they do. They do
Oh, they do
absolutely.
still. Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah, they showed Demon Slayer, I believe. They usually
Oh
they did
wow.
Food Wars. They did Food Wars.
Oh
Um,
no.
yeah, they get some pretty decent titles, but it doesn't help me if it's on at 2 a.m. Look, I gotta like
Or does
I
it?
gotta well, I gotta optimize my life. My sleep schedule's important. I need that sleep, man.
Yeah.
Oof, duh. But yeah, there's definitely some older titles that does slap. I don't do slap,
Hmm.
whatever. Anyways, I
Still
still go back
slapping.
to yeah, it's slap. I'm slap silly. Um, God, I understand how slang works. Um, I always go back to City Hunter lately because I've definitely been in like old 80 like 1980s Japan vibes, and I've
Hmm.
been on a city pop kick, and that opening song for the first season is just so like iconic to me. It's the thing that got me into city pop, and now I know like a crap ton more about it, and I have like a whole playlist, and I just really enjoying it. And I watched an internet video about, for some reason, there's a city pop song called Plastic Love by Maria Takeuchi, and it was this whole story of how it somehow broke the YouTube algorithm and ended up in everyone's recommended list.
Hmm.
So it kept getting like copyright struck, but it kind of took off and went viral so fast because of that breaking of the algorithm that they kept trying to remove videos of it, and it was being re-uploaded so fast they just fucking gave up. They were like, oh well, whatever.
Yeah.
And there's more to that story that's actually really fascinating. It's the channel was Tales of the Internet, or Tales from the Internet, and if you get the chance to watch it, it's a fascinating watch, and kind of took me down a rabbit hole of some YouTube videos. And I always love when that happens. I don't know about you, like you end up down a rabbit hole, just kind of going link to link to link, and seeing cool stuff that people have made, and like the effort they put into it. It's why we do what we do.
Yeah. No, that's exactly how we got here to begin with. I've
Absolutely.
actually found a new hobby for me, and that's audiobooks. I've always been
Oh,
worried
that's
about
right.
audiobooks and like being able to pay attention at the same time and work, because
Hmm.
sometimes I just zone out and I don't think. I do my work and that's it. And I've recently gotten into audiobooks, and I found I have been able to listen and work at the same time, which is neat. And I've started getting into like Lord of the Rings. I listened to all those dramatizations from BBC, and it was
Hmm.
super good. I loved it. That was my first time going through the entire Lord of the Rings saga, and I
Really?
loved it. Yeah. But I decided to look into the anime side because I've always seen the advertisements for the Rising of the Shield Hero and Sword Art Online.
Hmm.
So I went ahead and got the Sword Art Online one, and it's read by the guy who voiced Kirito. And I went ahead and listened to it. It was like 8 hours long, and it covered all the way up to the end of the Aincrad
Hmm.
arc, where they defeat the bad guy, and him and Asuna come back to reality. And I was like,
Hmm.
wow, this is really cool. I really like it's cool. I hope to get to the second one, maybe, if it doesn't get to the bad harem parts yet. It kind of made me remember what was cool about Sword Art Online before it got bad.
Yeah, well, that's you just listen to the audiobook of the strongest arc in the entire series. So,
Yeah, and, like,
I
I
mean,
kinda wanna keep going, but at the same time, I'm treading that line of, "Oh, no,
yeah.
it's gonna get bad." And
Well,
so
I
Oh,
was
go
going to
ahead.
ask you, do they have a lot of light novels on there, or is it just like Sword Art Online and what's the other one you said, Rising of the Shield Hero?
Rising of Shield Hero, Overlord, those were the 3 most prominent ones I saw. There's a couple other ones that didn't look like official mangas or light novels. They just
Hmm.
look like people that, they made some light novels, but not like prominent anime manga light novels.
Yeah,
So I'll have to take a look, and maybe I can give an update next week, because I'll probably go through like
absolutely.
2 or 3 more. Like right now I'm
Okay.
listening to The Psychology of Final Fantasy. And
Oh my gosh! Didn't you mention that you call bullshit on the person knowing what the hell they're talking about because they keep mispronouncing everything?
Yeah, they got someone on there that doesn't know what's going on, like in Final Fantasy. So she's she's reading about Final Fantasy 13, and if you don't know the plot for 13, that's fine. By all means, don't worry about it. But it's it's pretty much about these people that are ticking time bombs, and they have to find out what they have to do with their lives before they become something called a lessee. And this girl didn't play 13, so she's saying something like a lissy or a lassie or something. Like she's making up something totally different. And I was sitting there listening, and she was like, a lassie. And I was like, what is she talking about? She was like, from the city of Cocoon. And I was like, lassie and is she talking about a lassie? And then she said it like 3 or 4 more times, and I was like, oh my god, she doesn't know what she's saying. And then she talked about 10 2, and she was like, yeah, and how the girls like change their outfits for their powers in Final Fantasy 10 the second. And I was like,
Oh boy.
that's not what that's called. But
At first I was gonna say, oh, maybe it's just an accent sort of thing, but I mean, to actually call the title the incorrect title, yeah, I feel like that one would make me go, I don't trust that you've played this game.
yeah.
But I guess honestly, you could just read the script, but maybe she knows what she's talking about. Who knows? I'm not a philosopher, nor am I 100% complete on Final Fantasy, so yeah, but it sounds like you had some fun with the audiobooks. But that does bring us to kind of our main topic. We kind of talked about it a little bit in our free time, and that is our hobbies and stress management. And like, you know, that's such a kind of like unique thing to talk about, and I appreciate you bringing it up. Like, I had a very stressful day. I got some bad news, but we handle stress in different ways, and I think that hobbies help with that. Like how would you address it?
So normally for me, I have to I actually determine how bad my stress is on the hobby. So if I ever have something ongoing, I normally go get me a model kit and I build. I need something
Nice.
that's going to take my mind off it for a couple hours. And so I'll normally hunker down, I'll build for a couple hours. And that's it. I'm just reading a guide in Japanese that I really can't read. And I just build something that doesn't mean anything. I build a Gundam from a show I don't recognize. And I'm like, wow, I did this. I'm good. I'm almost recharged. I'm fine. Or
That's a good one.
yeah, I really like it. It's been a pretty good little technique for me for a bit since I've taken on the hobby. If I don't just get bored and get one, but I realize I need something to take my mind off of stuff. And I normally don't like sitting down and just not doing anything with my hands or like not being engaged with something. If that makes sense,
Mhm.
I rarely just sit down and just watch an anime. I normally will listen to a dub and play a game. Is what I
Yeah,
do because
yeah. When you stayed with me for a bit as you were waiting to move, I noticed that we would watch shows, and you watch it dubbed for that reason. Is you basically can actually still, play a game, grind on an RPG or something like that, but still watch the show. I mean, I finally got you to watch Iruma-kun, and but you grinded your way through what was it? Was it Final Fantasy 7?
yeah, I was doing final. I almost went to go fight Ruby and Emerald Weapon, but
Yeah.
realized it was a little too arduous of a trail to follow. So I just went ahead and beat the game after I got everyone to level 70.
Yeah, and
So
I think time management is a big connector to stress management because uh, time is money. Time is valuable. It truly is, and when you want to enjoy your hobbies, you want the time for it. But man, real life is a kick in the pants. Jobs and if you want to take care of yourself, you got to go to the gym or exercise in some way. If you want to cook, it's going to take a while. You got to prep the food, you got to cook it, and then you got to clean up. If you don't
mhm.
want to live in a pile of garbage, you have to clean on the regular. And if you want to be even more healthy, you have to get 8 hours or 6 to 8 hours of sleep is kind of where I live. That's a lot of time. That is a lot of time, and you only get 24 hours in a day. And it's like when you think about stuff like watching a show that's 25 minutes long, or watching a movie that's 2 hours long, playing a game that's got 60 hours of gameplay in it, like it starts feeling a little hectic. So I'd actually argue that time management is stress management to a degree.
Yeah,
So I admire your ability to multitask like that. Like I do understand that several other people I know do that same thing. They watch dubs, and a lot of them are like, yeah, the Japanese does sound a little bit better in the subtitle ones, but I can do other stuff while I'm watching dubbed anime. And I never thought about it like that when I was coming up in anime. I never thought that was the thing you could do. I feel like I wasted some time.
no, no,
But
it's all about I guess control really is what it is. Once the stress starts kicking in, really is it. Yeah, I feel better once I finish something. And so if I finish an anime or if I finish a game, I get nice. I've got this. I did that. I completed this. I just beat Final Fantasy 7. Just beat Final Fantasy 3. I can do whatever I'm doing. It just I guess makes you feel better. I just
yeah,
finished Hollow Knight and I also just moved into my apartment. Wow. That's a
yeah.
big week. That's a big week altogether.
And we got it done in record time, by the
It
way, guys.
it was very impressive.
It was
Very
a two
impressive.
hou-
To, like
two
two
hour
hours
job.
to unload like a 30-foot trailer. It was that was stacked like 8 feet high. It was pretty good. Pretty
I,
good
I think my
timing.
I think my favorite part was when everybody showed up and they were super salty for you not mentioning it was on the second floor.
And I could have swore I did. I needed to. That was wrong of me to not. But I know I intended to because I was like, these guys need to know this in case they need special shoes. Because I know I would bring like a pair of shoes with good cushion. But
hmm
yeah,
I got pizza and some good times out of it. Like I had a good time with it. But that too, like having the right kind of like I guess environment can help a stressful situation be a lot easier. I
yeah.
mean, like for instance, a bunch of us showed up and we were all friends, and we got to kind of take a break and shoot the shit a little bit, and that kind of took a lot of the like really like stressful nature out of moving, because everybody was on the same page and knew when to give each other a break. Like there was no real pressure involved in the situation. See, I grew up in the military, and moving was always a little bit of a stressful activity. So because then you had a lot of people that you didn't know, and you had to do everything within a certain amount of time because it's the military.
Hmm.
And it's something I got really good at, managing the stress from that. But I remember it being worse. If you got a good, like, if you got a good group, you got a good environment, stress is a lot more easy to handle. And that's one of those things. But um do you ever watch anime or play video games outside of like the model building, which I totally get, it's doing something with your hands? Is there like a go-to one that you go to handle stress?
I normally find slice of lives, and that's normally when I require that. So like I'm watching this go to or not go to. I'm watching Let's Make a Mug 2 anime
Hmm.
because I kind of need something to kind of help me relax as I kind of come off this high of I've been in an anxious state getting all my stuff up here, getting everything lined up as I made this move. Now let's kind of teeter off that and get everything ready for a normal life. So I'm kind of watching a slice of life anime. I may even do two back to back. I'm not saying I'm going to do K on. I'm not ready for that slice of life, but I may find something else to watch. But I normally get something that can even out, I guess, that anxious mindset
Hmm.
that I find myself in. And I haven't ever found myself that way in games. Like I don't ever play a peaceful game or anything to kind of
No, you don't. No,
to
you
kind of
don't.
even myself. I'll normally still just play whatever I'm playing, but I'll just do something mindless still. Like I'll go grind even if I don't need to. Like just I need something to do to keep me busy for a bit. And I may go grind or go do something, hopefully with my goals still in mind. Like if I was still playing Final Fantasy 7 or whatever, maybe just get a couple more levels out to get to 100, but or 99, whatever it is. But it would just be some mindless. I'm playing to ease my mind.
You know what I do?
I You're kind of making me nervous. That was quite a pause there. What do
Yeah,
you do, Steve? Elaborate, please. I'm on the edge of my seat.
I watch hentai.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I was
Okay. Oh,
expecting like a
I wasn't
funnier
gonna shame you.
reaction.
I wasn't gonna shame you for it, but now I will. What the fuck? Just-
It's just one of those things I just wanted to say because it seems like the obvious answer. No,
no, that
I'm
was
kidding.
almost very Trey of you. That
It really
wow.
was.
Is that what
A
this
little
is
bit.
like?
You're like, I'm on this side of the conversation. What the fuck is happening? No, I actually go back to like tried and true like comfort shows in terms of anime. Like FLCL is a show that I will watch when I'm feeling really, really bad. I think it has something to do with just like the music, the animation quality, and just the chaos of what it is and how creative it is. And if I'm being completely honest, a lot of like FLCL, a lot of like FLCL was made by Gynex at the time, and they had made some other shows too before a bunch of the people that I found out made those shows went off and made Studio Trigger. So technically, I tend to fall back into Studio Trigger lately.
Yeah.
Um, but I do have my comfort shows. Hajime no Ippo, like the boxing one, is just so like it gets you amped. Like there's some
Hmm.
the fights just get you amped. And I think maybe that's the case. Like sometimes I get into like fighting anime. I think when I'm feeling really down, I can really get into Dragon Ball Z, which makes it and I don't get down very often, so which is probably why I've never finished Dragon Ball Z. Um I'm not starting One Piece or anything. But
No, something more manageable.
yeah, I think I just fall into the stuff I know is good, or something that's going to kind of get my blood going to kind of like move my mind into probably like more positive chemicals, I guess.
Hmm.
Uh, and That's what I go to for anime. But gaming wise, I'd say my crafting and gathering like types of games are what I end up playing in terms of like feeling really stressed. Okay, that's not entirely true. There is some caveats, because definitely crafting and gathering, I like that mindless thing, and it kind of takes your brain off it, kind of what you're talking about with building a model. Like your brain can go away from that problem, that stress, and you're focused on something. So like with the gathering and crafting stuff, it's a lot of like, okay, I want to craft this thing. So I need this many wood. I need this. Oh, I got to go fight that to get that item. And so it's kind of like this checkoff list. And as you know, with like to do lists and just you know completing something in general, it gives you that nice like dopamine hit that makes you feel better. Like I accomplished something. So I like that sort of thing because a lot of times crafting an item can give you a small dopamine hit like that, and you can do it within a reasonable amount of time. So it kind of builds me up.
Yeah.
And then there are other times where you have unchecked aggression you want to get out. So you end up playing some games that are all about destroying or blowing things up. A personal favorite back in the day was what was it? Hulk Ultimate Destruction
Oh yeah,
on
yeah. A
GameCube.
classic. Yeah.
Li- Literally, you go around just smashing everything as a Hulk. You're almost invincible in this game. Like you had to be really really bad or trying to die. Um, and I just remember it being like, oh, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to destroy all the bad guys really easy. I want to knock down this building, throw this tank into the sun, whatever. It's just like, yeah, like get some of that aggression out. Shooters are a big one for me on that one. I kind of like the focus required to do like a good FPS game. I stay away from online competitive versions, but like Borderlands 3, like Borderlands games in general were always a good one for me because it has that RPG element to it, but it's
Yeah.
also guns. And so I thought that was fun. I don't think I could be online and get the same effect though, because I think I'd get more stressed out because other people, like when you're playing with other humans, and you like if you're stressed out, you're already kind of like got a short fuse. So if
Hmm.
somebody messes up, like you may end up that guy on the other end of the microphone that's telling them, "Fuck you, you're terrible, I hate you," and it's just because you're stressed out.
Tell
So
them
I
about
think
their mom or something. Yeah.
yeah. Their mom's a nice lady. I can't believe you made me say that. Um, yeah,
Yeah. Your mom
I don't
makes
want to
good
be
cookies.
I don't want to be that guy on the other end of the microphone that they're man. That guy's a dick. So yeah, I mean, stress management with hobbies is definitely something that we can accomplish. Gosh, I'm trying to think of some other ones that I really go back to when I want to kind of unwind. I think comedies when it comes to anime are also like very gaggy, kind of stupid comedy is one of my favorites. I mean, I think that's why I've watched Iruma-kun like 3 times.
I think
So,
I'm probably going to use Konosuba as probably a comfort anime to
oh
go back
yeah,
to because that
yeah,
that's
that's
one that fits
solid.
my bill perfectly.
Man, I that show is so gifable. Like you can make animated gifs and you can reference it, you can make memes out of it. It's just that is a one-off kind of experience which makes me want to go watch Combatants Will Be Dispatched because it's the same creator.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it
It,
funny?
I don't know. I know nothing about
Oh,
it. Like outside, like it's the same creator, and it's like apparently like they get hired out to do stuff with guns or something like that. And it's on Funimation, and I remember being excited when it was coming out, and I just got distracted.
hmm.
Um, the same amount of time I'm committing to Hollow Knight, I need to commit to anime again, so I can catch up on past seasons and stuff like that.
You should finish Hollow Knight. Don't talk yourself
Absolutely.
out of it. Finish
I'm
Hollow
not
Knight.
gonna no, I'm gonna finish it. Like believe it or not, once we're done here tonight, I will be playing Hollow Knight until I might just finish it. So
I really don't think you're that far, especially if you
yeah,
finished out enough of the map like you're talking. You got
hmm
it.
yeah, and do you just pick up any model or is it like specific stuff?
I used to do specific models like what was it? Original Gundam and then Gundam Unicorn and then specifically anything that had Char's face on it. Char Aznavour, just cuz
Yeah,
he's one of my favorite characters. But you can only build so much cuz there's only like 6 Gundams that fit all those builds.
yeah,
So
absolutely. There's very small pool of material.
yeah. And then I really like the 8th MS team, but really there's only like 4 Gundam in that whole series. So really at this point it's just I build whatever I see at a good price. Like at $20, $30, I'll just grab something and build it. It'll take me like 4 or 5 hours depending on how complicated it is and how tired my fingers get. But it it's fun. I just like a cool model. That's it. And I don't build human models anymore. So
Yeah,
I
didn't you do that Naruto Uzumaki one?
and it was awful.
Yeah,
It
it was
it
cursed
looked
as hell,
so
man.
bad. Yeah. He looked like he was like some Toy Story shit. Like he was
hmm
probably doing bad things to bad people.
Yeah, that's some robot chicken level articulation.
That is that is a very good comparison. He did look like he belonged on Robot Chicken.
Yeah, it's I didn't know, I had no idea until you made that they made actual, like, human model kits for
Yeah.
characters. Because I collect figures, and, the PVC figures, and they're kind of like these statues, and there is a line that is, posable called Figma, but it still looks really nice. And you get all these accessories and stuff like that. Even the Nendoroids get a bunch of accessories, and they're pretty versatile, but, like, I
Have you heard of the Ligma line?
you went
No?
I'm not falling for that shit.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go
What was it?
ahead.
We were in the Discord the other day, and I think, I was complaining about something, and you said something like, the way you spelled it, but I knew it said D's, and I was
It was
like,
D's, yeah.
I'm not falling for that shit. Like, no one's gonna get me.
And I
Um,
got
and
I got our buddy Will with one. I said, "Hey, do you know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh 5E?" He says 5Ds. And I said D's and nuts. Oh my gosh.
yes, me, you, our friends, we're all children,
Yes. But so these
but it's fun.
PVC characters,
Absolutely.
these
These things are definitely really fancy, but, like, the ones that like model kit, I was surprised because I can't think of a lot of situations where a model kit would be curvy. Like, a lot of stuff is more angular, and they have these posts that you need to stick together, and
yeah.
I can't imagine, like, the curves really fitting the right way, and, like, how you, like, in ball joints. Like, I guess, like, what is it? This is one of those cases where it's like, they knew they could, but they should have asked if they should. Like,
For
I
for
for making,
Naruto
yeah, for
or
like those model kits.
humans.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know who the audience is that that makes these. And I follow a bunch of Gundam pages, and I just look at their models all day because they're cool, and there's a lot of big gunpla competitions, like where
Yeah.
they make their own, and no one is doing anything that I've seen with like these human ones from like Dragon Ball Z or like Naruto or the Toy Story
Yeah.
ones that I've seen. Like there's actual Woody and Buzz, and it's just I don't know who's doing these.
So that was they released some Figmas, I think. Some Figma figures, and one of them was Woody from Toy Story, and he's got the creepy face that they use in the meme all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
God.
there are some memes that reach all the way to Japan, and they will turn them into figures and all kinds of stuff. But also, like, a lot of American properties are also popular over there. So, like, with the Nendoroids, which is basically, super nice, much cooler, much more versatile Funko Pop, but it's Japanese.
Mhm.
It doesn't have those weird eyes. They actually look like kind of like chibi-fied versions of the character. But they also have a lot of American properties, in terms of Nendoroids. I know a lot of the MCU stuff has been turned into an Nendoroid. Um, and what is it? Shit, there was the Figma line. They one time, I don't know if you know about this. There was kind of like a meme, or like, this one gay porn actor was really popular in Japan, and they made a figure of him.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it was so crazy. I was like, what? No, like, what is the source of this person? But I'll have to look up the name. It escapes me at the moment. But I was, when I looked into the name, I was like, who is this character? It looks like a normal dude. And I found out
What
the
anime
hard
is he
way.
from?
Yeah, yeah, but
So the Marvel and DC guys, and a lot of Square Enix characters have a lot of really nice figures on the Play Arts Kai site that
yeah,
I
they
just
do.
ogle every so often because I would love to have the Sora and Roxas figures, and there's some really dope Spider-Man and Batman figurines on there that I would love
Man,
to have.
I would absolutely love to have Near Automata's 2B.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they because the figure they had for it looked really nice.
yeah, I
Um,
know what you're talking about. It did look
yeah,
really good.
I will give Square Enix credit that their merch is some next level stuff. Absolutely fantastic stuff. I have a couple art books for 14. I think I have one of the uh, orchestral soundtracks for one of the games.
Yeah,
Um, two of the I got the collector's edition of a couple of the expansions, and they came with figures, and they are the actual Play Arts Kai, and they're really really nice.
wow,
The one for Shadowbringers with the Dark Knight is
that one's
huge.
really cool. Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah,
It's nice.
yeah, it's really really nice. And I love that we went away from stress, and well, and we're just talking about the figures, which
Oh,
figure collecting is part of my stress relief, but it's also sort of the cause of some of my stress because the
Well,
price tag on some of these bitches is high.
window shopping can be a good way to relieve stress too. Unless you're really shopping, that's not window shopping. That's spending the money.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I make a pre-order I probably shouldn't, here and there. So, I gotta own up to that one. But window shopping is a nice thing. I've gotten better at it. I don't buy as much when I window shop, so that's good.
There you go.
Ugh.
So with that, I think we've covered quite a few venues of stress management with our otaku like hobbies, or it's straight up otaku. It's not like
Yeah.
it is. Um, well, with that, Steven, you got anything else you want to send us off with before you come tuck me in?
Uh, I gotta be honest. I really enjoyed the wide variety of things we ended up talking about today. It's, like I said, it was a windy road, but we did get to the main topic. We talked a little bit about it and some other fun stuff in between. I love it. I enjoyed every second of it, and I hope you guys do too. In the meantime, check us out on Facebook. You can check us out on Twitter. And then the episodes, yes, the episodes. They're on Spotify
We do have other
and
episodes, yes.
yeah, on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts, and in most places you can find your podcast audio. We will be happy for you guys to listen to more of us and give us some feedback. Hit us up on any social media platforms. It'll be fun. Until then, it's time to tuck Trea in. Everybody say goodnight.
Good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.